How you doing, everybody? Listen, I hope you're well. I haven't been on YouTube for quite a while, about 8 months in fact, and I was actually thinking about not coming back on it again, but over the last couple of days I really think that lots of things are happening in the world. The world is, there's no question about it, events are speeding up at a colossal rate, and all sorts of puppet shows are being put on to divert the masses away from thinking about or giving any thought at all to really what's going on in the world. And that is what's brought me back here after 8 months. 8 months ago, actually, that was the finale of the matter. About 8 or 9 months ago, several close family members died, and one in particular who died had a big effect on me. I have to say that, I have to be honest. This person was very close to me and had a profound effect on me, and I never thought it would, but it did. And you don't know, people grieve in different ways, and the way that I grieved was I just sort of went into myself, tried to reconcile what was going on, and the merits of life and whatever. Anyway, as I say, there are a couple of things I want to deal with just in coming up over the immediate. One is the concept, and it's obvious why I'm going to talk about that. It's the concept of monarchy. And the next thing is just the concept of where we're going to go now within Ireland, having voted yes for this referendum, and what that's about and where that's going to lead us. And then the final thing is what's going on in the rest of the world, because there are a lot of things going on in the rest of the world, and there is no doubt that things are speeding up. Events seem to be speeding up. That's what I sense anyway. And I think that what's going on, we're witnessing almost a Shakespearean drama. It's like a drama going on at the moment, and it's the Diamond Jubilee of this woman who's the monarch, Elizabeth Guelph of England, who's the monarch of the UK. And she, first of all, let me say that I don't harbour any personal grudge against this woman. I probably as a person, I'm sure she's a fine woman. There's nothing wrong with her. I am a Republican. I was born in a monarchist state. I was born in the north of Ireland, and when I was a young person, when I was 23, I moved to the Republic of Ireland to live, and subsequent to that then I've lived in the Republic of Ireland, I've lived in America, I've lived in various places throughout the world. And all I want to say is that, having lived in several republics, but in particular the republic where I live now, the Republic of Ireland, I think that the basic positive elements of living in a republic far outweigh any notion that I would ever have of going back. And I think that I would only do that as a very last resort, if I really had no option, if I had no other option, to go back and live in a monarchist state. And the reason just is quite simple. The whole monarchist principle at its core is based around inherited privilege. That's essentially what it's all about. And the Republican principle rejects that out of hand. Republicans reject inherited privilege out of hand. I want a society that's a meritocracy. I want a society where people, and I know I live in a corrupt society, I know the Republic of Ireland is an entirely corrupt society, I know that. We've had various investigations set up by Dáil Éireann costing colossal sums of money. Tribunals are called. We've had various ones about political corruption, about corruption within the church, you name it. And we can see the type of society that it is. But for all that, I still believe it to be a better society than the monarchist society. Because the monarchist society lends itself totally to nepotism. It lends itself totally to subservience. It lends itself totally to arse-licking and grovelling on a grand scale. And I find that above all else, that's what I see when I look at the whole shenanigans that's been going on over the last 3 days. I find it appalling in my heart that grown men and grown women can grovel at the level that they grovel at constantly within the UK for acknowledgement and to get up the pyramid, to move up notches up the pyramid. And I find that appalling. Now that goes on in Ireland politically and economically, but at a much smaller level, at a much reduced level. And I welcome that. And as I say, as a Republican, the whole essence of republicanism is the rejection of inherited privilege and nepotism. And as I say, I want a society based on meritocracy. I want a society where the best people and the best ideas are manifest in society. Not the worst ideas, and not the biggest arse-lickers and grovellers. So when you see all that pageant, so-called pageant that's going on, don't forget, that is all in reality like a Shakespearean tragedy. Behind it, you have to see what's going on behind that. And it's indicative of a very sick society. And that is a very sick society, that society. And I say to people constantly, when you as an individual, and you must remember, I live in a society now, a state, where I'm a citizen of the state. There are no citizens in the UK. Everyone who is in the UK is a subject of that woman. You must never forget that. You must never forget that. On every banknote, her image appears. On every postage stamp, her image appears. There's a reason for all that. She has to sign every piece of legislation in the law. There's a reason for all that. And that's really all I want to say. All I want to say is you cannot make her, the monarchist principle is a feudal principle. It should be rejected out of hand by any modern, futuristic thinking individual. It should have no presence in the present time, but it does. And these people wallow in it. You only got to look at this, as I say, what goes on in this whole pageantry of grown men behaving and grown women behaving the way that they behave, like children, And it has, behind it all, it has a huge sinister element. I don't want to go into that here because I don't have time, but that's all I want to say. I think the Republican thing is much clearer. To finally say it, I've deviated. All I want to say is, if you have a problem as a citizen, as Joe Bloggs, with the state, and you live in a republic, your rights are guaranteed under the Constitution. That does not mean to say that they will not be abused. I'm not saying that. Of course they're abused. But if you live in a monarchy, your rights are only guaranteed under the law, and that law is interpreted on a daily basis by judges. And one judge will find in your favour, and another judge will find completely against you, because you do not have a written constitution where it's written down in black and white in clear vocabulary. And for all its warts, for all its problems, for all its inward lookingness, for all its parochialism, for all its problems, Ireland, to me, Ireland as a republic is a much superior place than the United Kingdom. And that's not any offence to any people from, or any subjects from the United Kingdom who would be watching this video.
It's a wonderful place in many ways, but don't have any problems with the state in the UK. Because if you do, you'll know exactly what I'm saying. Anyway, listen, we're going to talk a lot more, okay? Take it easy. Bye.